So you call yourself a Christian?
Why, yes, I do.
Are you sure about that?
Oh yes, I'm quite sure, thank you.
I mean, let's break this down.
Right on, brother.
The minimum requirements to be a Christian is that you must believe the description within the Bible that Jesus Christ, that's Christ as in Christian, was the Son of a mighty God.
Well, not quite. You see, Thunderfoot, to be a Christian may require that belief, but it does not have to come from the Bible, per se, if there were historical evidence of such as the data collected from the Shroud of Turin, which just so happens to convert a person to believing that Jesus is the Son of God, rose from the dead, without ever picking up the Bible, they are no more a Christian than I. To suggest otherwise is just tautology.
The whole thing is utterly contingent on the veracity of the Bible. So I have one question for you.
Ah, okay. What is it, friend?
Do you believe in witches, wizards, and demons?
Oh boy. Here we go with the semantical argument again. You must define what you mean by witches and wizards, so we don't commit an etymological fallacy, okay? Now, I have to assume that this idea of witches comes from the New International Version of the Bible, which you atheists have a rather nasty habit of reading. But the words do not appear in either that version nor the King James Version. Now, wizards, on the other hand, refers simply to one who practices sorcery, which is not entirely magic in itself. Rather, it is the idea that you can harness evil spirits to cause some unnatural effect within the world. Now, demons, on the other hand, are thought to be evil spirits which can, but not necessarily, will induce thoughts upon people beyond which they can control. This is not to say that all types of behavior like this is the result of demons. There is an easy distinction. If you are referring to witches as a type of wizard in this sense, I'll have to conclude, yes, I believe in all three. But let me emphasize, not because the Bible tells me they are real, but because I understand the meaning of which these words are used in context, and realizing that they have real, categorical inferences.
If you answered no to this question, then you're not really a Christian.
I'm sorry, friend, but I believe you stated earlier,
the minimum requirements to be a Christian is that you must believe the description within the Bible that Jesus Christ, that's Christ as in Christian, was the Son of a mighty God.
Now let's not start moving the goalposts now, okay? It's a logical fallacy, you know.
Because the biblical God, that's the Father of the Christ in Christian, directly instructs you in the Bible to kill witches and stone wizards.
I'm sorry, but I don't remember anything about being instructed to kill witches and wizards upon reading the Bible. And upon further research using the Bible search tool on any website, searching the King James Version, you'll find that this commandment was indeed a commandment that never was. Usually, you atheists are bright enough to actually quote the verse you are talking about. But I think in this case, I know exactly why you bother not to do so.
Now take these elements out of the narrative, and all that you're left with is a very poorly written storybook.
I am pretty sure that if you take out the subjects of any story, the story is going to come out poorly written. Thanks for mentioning the obvious.
Containing some of the sickest dialogue you will come across anywhere.
Oh my gosh! Like what?
Let alone a book that is given to children. and purportedly advocates some sort of morality.
This is news to me. When did philosophers come to the conclusion that love thy neighbor as thyself is not propagating something moral?
For instance, this is the word of God from Exodus, a little after the commandments are given to Moses.
Then you shall kill the lamb, and take some of its blood, and put it on the tip of
Oh
the
my
right
gosh,
Aaron,
blood! So horrible! My ears can't stand it!
and on the big tabernacle of the meeting. He shall take it.
Yes, I am pretty sure that I have, thank you. Now, I think that maybe you should go read it too, instead of just attacking straw men. Now there's an idea.
All of the fat of the bull is a sin offering. The fat that covers the entrails, all the fat which is...
I can name several things that are much more unsuitable for children, which they happen to watch anyway, on their own even. I'm sorry, but this is a logical fallacy, arguing from emotion, and it isn't working for you.
I mean, really, if it's just a storybook, you might as well adopt Lord of the Rings as your religion.
Can you say non sequitur?
It's more relevant to modern day life.
I'm sorry, but since when did elves and dwarves become relevant to modern day life?
And there's a much better storyline.
Of course it has a much better storyline. It has narrative details, which you somehow had the bright idea to try to take them out of the Bible.
If, on the other hand, you answered yes, that you do believe in witches, wizards, and demons,
Which I did.
then I have to ask you the most pertinent question of all.
I'm sorry, but I thought you said...
So I have one question for you.
But go ahead anyway.
How can you tell if Harry Potter is a work of fact or fantasy?
Did the big sign that says science fiction at the movie store not persuade you?
I mean, really, are these special effects, or is this real footage of witches, wizards, and demons?
Huh. I didn't know the absolute criteria for witches and wizards is being dressed in a black pointy hat and a robe, and having a really long white beard. But even so, you're committing the etymological fallacy, which I have warned you about before.
And demons are spoken of in the Bible.
The Bible never spoke of a three-headed dog demon. And you asked me if I ever read it. Touché.
If on reflection you find that you're not a Christian after all,
I don't really think that's even possible. You see, your audience is atheistic. If you really want to attract more Christians to view your videos, then perhaps try learning something about them, rather than just attacking straw men.